Generative AI does represent the greatest number of new entrants on VC firm Notable Capital's list of top startups serving small and medium businesses. Such darlings as Anthropic and Perplexity were all in the list of 50 companies that have raised a cumulative $29 billion in financing. Here to discuss the implications for a VC and the IPO pipeline is Notable managing partner Jeff Richards with our Deirdre Bosa. Welcome to you both. Deirdre, set the scene for us and welcome to you both.
Hey, Kelly. So basically, and I should let Jeff sort of explain the list, but what's really interesting here is that these are the top private companies that are basically letting small and medium-sized businesses operate in a very different way. Technology is enabling them to do things faster, more efficiently. And what was interesting, Jeff, about this list is that there's a number of Gen AI names that are new, which really tells you how quickly this is moving. And a question that we often ask in public markets is, are we actually going to see the efficiency gains, the monetization of generative AI? And Jeff, I wonder if you're seeing them at small and medium-sized business. Is Gen AI sort of increasing their margins and their bottom line?
It's a great question, Deirdre, and obviously no lack of hype around AI and Gen AI for the last 2 or 3 years. You know, a couple things to think about here. One, small businesses, 40% of U.S. GDP, so it is an absolutely critical part of the U.S. economy. 60% of job growth over the last decade has been in small businesses. So when you think about companies like Anthropic or OpenAI or Perplexity or Square or Shopify or HubSpot, those are names that people know and think of associated with the small business economy. What we tried to do with our annual SMBTech 50 list is highlight the private companies that people haven't heard of yet. These are the companies that will hopefully go public in the next 3 to 5 years, assuming we have an IPO market. Many of them are already over $100 million of annual revenue. As you mentioned, they've raised quite a bit of capital from venture capital firms like ours. And so we reached out to about 30 other firms to get them to tell us which are the best companies and which have the most promising futures ahead of them in this sector.
Deirdre, go ahead.
So, Jeff, what's it going to say? You said maybe looking for IPOs within the next 3 to 5 years. This has been a market that has been largely shut for a lot of startups over the last few years already. What's it going to take to get that to open up?
Well, shut is probably being a generous description. We have had almost no IPO market for technology companies in 2024, and 23 was weak as well. You know, a couple of things that folks point to, investment bankers that we talk to and lawyers who are working on these deals, there are a number of companies that are on file. One is valuation. We had a huge rush of capital that went into these private companies in 21 and 22. Valuations got very aggressive, trading at multiples in the private markets that are way ahead of where the public markets are today. So if you think about cloud computing software in particular, it was not uncommon to see companies raising money at 20 or 30 times forward sales. The public market today is more in the 5, 6, 7 times forward sales range. And so some of it is just calibration on valuation. Growth rates for some companies in the software area came down last year. But now you've got this influx and this tailwind with AI, which, as you and I have chatted about previously, we haven't really seen it show up in the revenue numbers yet for small cap public software companies. But I think you'll start to see that in 25 and 26, and that would then bode well for the private companies that want to go public with similar stories.